All right, so today we're taking a look at a Samsung dryer that has a bad motor. Now, when I power this thing on and hit the start button, it runs for just a moment, but shortly after that, it cuts itself off. Your dryer cutting itself off early, though, doesn't necessarily definitively mean that it is a bad motor. There are multiple things that can cause that to happen, but there are a few things that you can look for to help you determine if, in fact, you do have a bad motor. So I'm going to go ahead and start it real quick so you can see exactly what's happening. We'll power it on, just select the cycle. And when I hit start, it runs for just a moment. It makes kind of a loud buzzy noise. And then it shuts itself off. Now, it didn't power itself off completely. The display is still on. It just stopped spinning. And see, now it came back on. And it just turned itself back off. Now, what's happening there is when it starts, the motor starts running, the motor is overheating, and then it stops. The motor then cools down a little bit and will kick back on. And it could continue to just keep doing that. So one of those things that you can do to kind of help you figure out if it is the motor is as soon as it stops itself, you want to come back over and hit the start button again. And if nothing happens, that means that the motor is bad because the motor is overheated and right now it's too hot, so it won't start up again. And then the other thing that you can do is not so much looking for something, but rather using your sense of smell. Usually if your motor is bad, it's going to smell kind of like burnt rubber. So again, if you're smelling that burnt rubber smell, chances are your motor is bad. But all things being possible, you could also just have something stuck inside the fan, something like a dryer sheet or a small hand towel. Usually though, if that's the case, your dryer won't spin at all. So the fact that this one was spinning for a moment, it stopped and then it restarted itself and it's giving off the burnt rubber smell. Those are pretty good indicators that we have a bad motor and we want to get in there and replace it. So now I'm going to go ahead and walk you through exactly how to do that. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come to the back of the machine. We want to remove this lid and you have two screws that hold it in place, one right here and one right here. So we just want to remove those. Now you can just grab the lid and push back a few inches. It'll slide and you can pop it off. Open up your door, take out your lint filter. Then you have two screws right down here that you want to take out. Next, we want to remove this panel right here. And to do that, you just take the tips of your fingers, grab right here, and then kind of pull this back towards you. And this will pop off. And then you want to disconnect the wires that run from the user interface board back through here. Next, we want to remove this entire front panel. And to do that, we're going to remove these four screws right here. Now that you've got the screws out, you want to look right here. There's two little metal tabs that come up through little holes or slits in this front panel, and you just want to press down on those. And if you can't do it with your finger, you can use like a flathead screwdriver. You just kind of pop them down, and then you can pull it towards you. You want to disconnect this wire right here. This is a wire that runs to the door switch. Next is going to be to remove this panel right here, and you've got a total of 5 screws. There's going to be one right here. There's going to be one up on the top over here, one right here, and then one up on the top on this side, as well as one right here. All right, once you've got those out, this just pulls up and off. And these wires right here should be held in place by these little clips. Just undo the wires from there, take them and just kind of fold them over the side. You got 4 screws that hold this panel right here in place. 2 on this side and 2 over here that you'll want to take out. You want to unclip this wire right here. This is the wire that runs to the moisture sensor bars. And then we want to take this canister off. This canister houses the lint filter. And it's got 3 screws. 1, 2, and 3. Once you've done that, you can just pull this down. Now, this is the point where we would be able to tell if there was something stuck inside the fan. And if that was the case, you would see it right here. Usually, like I said, something along the lines of dryer sheets or a small hand towel, maybe even a sock that's gotten in there. This looks to be completely clear. There's nothing in there, just some loose lint that you can clean out if you want, but nothing that's actually obstructing the fan and stopping the motor from being able to spin. And to take this panel off, you just want to grab it right about here. We'll pull up and then pull out towards us. And it'll come off. Next, we need to remove the belt so we can take the drum out. And to do that, I'm going to put you in the back so that you can see exactly what I'm doing with my hands to remove it, to take it off from the motor and the pulley. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and reach in with both hands here. And what I'm looking for is I'm going to grab the pulley right here with my left hand, and I'm just going to pull it backwards. I'll hold it in place with my right hand and try to slip the belt off of it like that. Now that we've got that out, this is what the inside of your machine looks like. And your motor is right here. Okay, so to remove the motor, we're going to start right here by taking this screw and this screw off. Once you've done that, you can take this plastic piece and it will just pop off. And then we want to take this nut off right here. And we're going to use a 14mm nut driver to do that. So to take this off, you want to turn it to the right. So if you're using a drill, you're going to have it in the normal position as if it's tightening it down. And you want to just go ahead and grab the fan gently right here so that it doesn't spin while you're taking that screw off. And then you can wiggle the fan off of there. Now with Samsung specifically, sometimes it's difficult to get it out. Sometimes it'll just wiggle right out on its own, and others, it'll just feel like it's stuck on there. If it's stuck on there like this one, you can use a hammer or a sledgehammer to give it a few taps and see if you can loosen it. And it'll come off just like that. Now you can come to the back where the actual motor is. The first thing you want to do is just disconnect the wire harness that runs to it. And it's got a clip on the top and a clip on the bottom. You'll just squeeze those and wiggle it off. And then it's got a clamp right here and one down here that hold the motor in place. Each one of these brackets will have a side that's got like this little hump right here. And if you can see down here, it's got a little like metal tab on the end, and you can grab that with a pair of channel locks and pop it off. So just like this, and I'll push down and then pull up. And then you can just get it off on the other side. And then the same thing with this one. This one is a little bit trickier to get completely off. So usually once you've got just the one side off, you can go ahead and grab your motor and pull it out, and that bracket will come off. All right, so we've got our replacement motor here, brand new one that we're going to pop in, and you'll want to put it just like this. The shaft is going to go facing towards you, and the block where the wire harness connects is going to be on your right hand side. This part right here and this part right here are going to go on these brackets right here. So you have to make sure that you get them on there just in the right place. Just like that. And then you want to take your brackets and just re-secure them. And there are slits on both sides, a slit right here and a slit right here. And there are hooks on both sides as well, one here and one right over here. And those hooks will go right through those slits to secure it. And so when you're putting this back on, it doesn't matter if you put it this way or this way, but whichever way that you're going to put it on, usually the easiest thing to do is to hook the side without this hump right here on first. So this side, hook it on first, and then put this side on second. So we've got that hooked in there, and you can just push down on it until you hear it click and lock in place. And then you'll do the same thing for this one down here. This one is a little bit trickier just because it's a tighter space to get into. So just have a little patience. It might take a few tries, but you can definitely get it on there. And there you go. Now that one's on as well. After you've got those in place, go ahead and reconnect your wire harness to your motor. And now we want to put our fan back on. So if you look at the shaft of the motor right here, it's round all the way around except for one section right here where it's flat. And if you just take that flat spot and put it facing up, then what you want to do is you want to take your fan and see it's got this flat spot there as well. Just face this up so that it's lined up and facing the same way as that shaft so it'll slip right on there. And then once you've got it on, go ahead and re-secure the nut by turning it counterclockwise. And then just the same way that you took the fan off, you want to put it back on. Just gently hold the fan so that it doesn't move. And screw it in. And now you can put this piece back on, and the holes will go up here towards the top. And there's a little tab down here, and you'll see that this tab, it just kind of inserts to this right here. So just get it all lined up, and then you can screw it back in. So we're going to go ahead and put the tub back in. Just want to slip the belt over it, and you want to get it about halfway on there. The belt is two-sided, so one side is going to be smooth and the other side is going to have ridges. You want the side with the ridges to be touching the drum and the smooth side to be facing out towards you. Then you can just grab the drum and use the belt to help you pick it up and set it in place. And now we have to get the belt back over the motor and the pulley. And to do that, I'm going to put you back in the back again so that you can see what my hands are doing. So now we're going to put the belt back around the pulley and the motor. So I'll reach in and show you here. Grab the belt. Make sure that the belt on this side is over the pulley. And then over here, you're going to wrap it around the motor. And then pull it to your right. And then lift up on the pulley. Make it go to the left. And then just slip the belt over the pulley. Now we're going to put this panel back on. And this part, this rim right here, is going to go on the inside of the tub, and there's some tabs, 2 tabs on either side, and those tabs are going to go inside the holes right here. So you're just going to set this in here like this, and then pull up on it. Get one side in on the top, the other side in on the top, and then you want to take your hand and you want to spin your drum clockwise. And you want to spin it until you hear kind of a little bump. And that'll be the drum coming to rest on the rollers in the front. Like that. Now it'll be a lot easier to get these last 2 tabs in on the bottom. And you just kind of lift up a little bit and get them in place. Go ahead and reconnect the clip for the moisture sensor bars. And then put your canister back on. And re-secure it with the 3 screws that hold it in place, as well as the 4 screws that hold this panel in place. You want to pull these wires back over and just put them through these little holders for the wires. This one is going to be the door switch. You want to let that one just hang down in the front, and this one can go through here. And then we can put this panel back on. This panel has some metal tabs, 2 on this side and 2 on this side. Those tabs are going to go inside the slit right here, as well as the one on the top, and the same on the other side. And then once you've got that on there, just screw it back in. And then you can feed this wire through here, and you want to put your front panel back on. And there's a couple of metal tabs that are coming up from the bottom of the machine, and they go through slits that are in the bottom of the front panel. So just make sure that you get those through there, otherwise it won't line up properly. And reconnect your door switch and screw it back in. And then last but not least, just reconnect the wires that go to your user interface board. And those as well have a little holder right here that you can slip the wires through so that they don't kind of fall back in there and end up rubbing on the drum while it spins. Okay, now we've got to put it all back together. So let's power it on and see what it does. All right, so I've had the dryer running for about 2 minutes now, and it hasn't stopped. Everything looks like it's good, and it's running exactly the way that it should. And being that this is a brand new motor, stands to reason that there's nothing wrong with it. But I would encourage you, if you're doing this, to go ahead and let your dryer run for about 20 minutes just to verify that the motor is good. 20 minutes is kind of the magic number for a dryer motor. And all I mean by that is that if your dryer runs for a full 20 minutes, then it means that your motor is good. If your motor was bad, or if you had gotten a defective or faulty one from wherever you ordered it from, it wouldn't run 20 minutes without cutting itself off. So again, once you reach that 20-minute mark, chances are you're in the safe zone. So I hope that you found this video helpful, and I hope that I was able to help you save some money by not having to call an appliance technician to come and do it for you. If you have any questions at all about anything that maybe I didn't cover or any steps along the way, then feel free to go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section, and I'll do my best to answer you as quickly as I can and try to help you figure out exactly what's going on. Thank you so much for all your support. We'll catch you next time.